Hello YouTube, this is Rhino Dan, and I'm going to be giving you guys a Keith Code story with part of my Keith Code interview I did on April 21st, which happens to be 70 minutes long, and I'm still working on getting it completed. It will be in 7 segments, and here we go. So in the background you're going to hear music from my buddy, Chris, who did the sound engineering for the interview. So I'm giving his music group a shout out. It is SoundCloud, Concow. If you can, go check them out, help them out. So here we go. Here's onto the story. About 12 years ago, I went out and bought a Ninja 250 for my wife, and my coworker told me about Keith Code. And then he said that, have you ever heard of Keith Code? And I'm like, no. Probably like a lot of you guys haven't either. And I said, no, I have not heard of Keith Code. And he said, all right, well, Keith Code's trained motorcycle champions and all these other people, and he wrote a book called Twist the Wrist. I'm like, all right, cool. And he said, remember, you look where you go, and this is from Twist the Wrist. I said, okay. So now I'm driving home, back roads. This is before I had my motorcycle license. And when you don't have a license in California, you can't be on the freeway, so I had to take the back roads home to deliver the bike. And on my back roads home on Lake Herman Road, I started going off towards a barbed wire fence and a tree. And I was looking right at it, target fixation and everything, and I was heading towards it at about 50 miles per hour. Just like I am right here in this video as a demonstration, I immediately looked left, and my body and my bike countersteered, and I was corrected, and I'm alive today because of that information. So that little part in Twist the Wrist saved my life. And ever since then, I went out to Barnes & Noble and bought Twist the Wrist right after that happened. So I knew right after that piece of data saved my life how important it was for me to get some type of information about motorcycle riding. My California safety training didn't do enough, so I went out and started reading Keith Code's material. It's been helping me out for the last 12 years. I'm hoping that you guys will do the same, get some material. Having said that though, I am going to do a giveaway. I have a brand new Twist the Wrist 2 book that I will give away if I get 1,000 views. And if you guys in the comments want the book, say I want the book, I'll randomly pick somebody to give the book away. And that's it. So I'm hoping you guys will enjoy the interview. And I enjoyed having the interview, and hopefully you guys get information from this. Thank you. So we're going to go to question number 2.
Okay.
What is the one thing that causes most riders fear or problems?
So I think that my surveys of quite a few people, probably over 10,000 riders, I ask a question, and the question is, how many of you have a natural sense of line through the corners? In other words, that when you look at a corner, you have already have a snap plan on how best to take that corner. Obviously corners you've been through before would be a little bit easier, but how many have that sense when they see a corner for the first time? And I get very, very few hands risen on that. Most people don't have a good sense of line. What is a good line through a corner? What is an optimum line through a corner? What do you want to do with the corner to make it as easy and safe, actually, in many ways, but also the one that will give you the most freedom in the corner to use more speed and less fidgeting with the bike. So I think that at the end of the day, that riders with a good sense of line, how to plot a line, how to look at a corner, and how to get through it in an optimum fashion are few. And also statistically, we know that in years past, it's been the traffic accident where cars make an illegal turn in front of a motorcyclist. That was over 50% of the accidents back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and even in the 90s. But for the last, nearly 2 decades, I suppose, it's been single vehicle accidents where the rider gets into a corner too fast, and the accident reconstruction guys say that new number one on the list is riders having single vehicle accidents, and I believe that a great part of that is that they don't have a good sense of line or don't have a good understanding of lines, how to set one up and go through a corner.
That makes sense. There's a lot of times too I catch myself that I don't pick a line as good as I should, or sometimes I don't even like consciously pick a line, which I know is a very no-no. It's just that I can make a million excuses. It's just that I'm not good enough as a rider right now, or I don't have enough control of my bike yet to do that. And I've been writing for a while, and I can totally see what you're saying. And I know that in the twist books and in the DVD, that's very important to pick a line. It's just something that I'm trying to become conscious of, and I don't know. I need more coaching. I need more help on it, but I totally that makes sense to me as a writer because I am at fault. My hand would jump up immediately if you asked me that in class, because there's times where I'm on an unknown corner and sometimes I don't know where to turn in at, and I'm just kind of waiting to see how it unfolds, and then I'm too close to the double yellow line, and I don't give myself a lot of options, and I can totally relate to what you just said.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't control the corner, the corner will control you.
Right.
Really, the bottom line, and so that's where the big advantage of understanding lines and getting at least enough theory and then practice, and for sure, good coaching accelerates the process enormously. So that's why I have a school.
Absolutely, and that's why I need to go to your school. Because I watch my YouTube videos and I'm like, I'm too close to the yellow line sometimes, and then yeah, I go over my own videos and I'm like, oh wow, because when you're writing, you don't really see what you're doing. You're kind of like in the moment, and it's kind of hard to coach yourself. And like if you said that in a couple other videos, but I know from past other activities I've done, self coaching is almost impossible. And yeah, I know I need some coaching.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm with you 100% on that.
All right, so we're going to go to question